Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? My name is Brandon B. Rich, and today I bring to you every Doom map ranked from worst to best. So, real quick, just to start off the video, I'm going to go ahead and get some prefaces out of the way. First off, music is no indicator, meaning that the map's music does not influence how much I like a map or how much I don't like it, because if that was the case, a lot of maps would be moved up or down because of the music alone. So, in order to overcome this bias I had, I actually played each map with no music, and I played each map with music that I liked. This is going to be based off of the ultraviolence difficulty, not nightmare or anything below that. I'm also going to take into consideration the design, the monster placement, and just how much fun I have is all that really matters. Once again, these are my opinions, not facts, and just because a map is 20 on the list doesn't mean I don't like it. I'll let you know if I hate a map or if it was low because the others were just better. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right to it. At the bottom of my list, I actually have E4M9, Fear, as my least favorite map in all of Ultimate Doom. Reason being, I feel like it's forgettable. There are odd enemy placements, there are far too many lost souls in wide open areas, random boxes everywhere outside. The map is split in two, down the middle, one side with the exit, the other with the indoor area, which, by the way, the indoor area is cool with the Baron in the cage, but the teleporting over and over to the same cage gets pretty old fast, which is why this map is my least favorite in all of Ultimate Doom. In addition, I also, every time the map loads in, I just dread it. 35 on the list is E2M6 Halls of the Damned. The stupid maze in the path that leads to the 4 area place. This map is just long. Every time it loads in, I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. I don't know how to clip through walls and get to the exit short, so I usually have to take the long way around. If you're doing 100% on the ultraviolence difficulty, have fun fighting a bunch of lost souls and monsters in a tight and dark area. The maze is not done very well. The only good thing I can say about this map really is the fake exit switch trap. I love that part. It's impossible to avoid the toxic 4 damage at the beginning, and you have to pick up the berserk health to open the door to the switch to open the door to the area to begin with. This long ass map. I guess I'm done talking about it. Next on the list, number 34 out of 36 is E4M5 They Will Repent. Just go watch my playthrough. Long hallways of blood with lost souls everywhere, multiple levels of depth, and it's just so dense. The end is weird too, getting the key in the BFG. I've never been a huge fan of this map. It's always a dread when it happens. And then just the intro with the random cacodemon outside. I mean, if you're trying to get 100% kills, most people aren't going to even realize that that guy's out there. It's just a really, not my favorite map at all. Next up is, at number 33, is E2M7 Spawning Bats. This is one of the most forgettable and all over the place maps in Doom. I hate trying to get the red key in the blue area. I don't like the fact that all those blue things are trying to hurt you the whole time. It gets really irritating. It's just an annoying map. You have to watch your step constantly and there's a bunch of monsters everywhere, but it just doesn't feel like a map that comes together really smooth for me. So, for that reason, I put it at number 33. Number 32 is E3M5 Unholy Cathedral. This is a bunch of maps smushed together into a jumble of random BS. And the teleporters and the random ending, I don't know what's up with that. You get the BFG, but you already have the BFG before this map even begins. So why do you need to get the BFG again just to have those 50 or so monsters spawn in? There's a lot of random secrets that are so easy to miss and forget. Next up at number 31 we have E2M3 Refinery. Isn't there already a toxin refinery? Which, by the way, is much higher up on this list. We will get to that later. But for now, this is the worst half of the refineries. It just doesn't have a fun design or monster placement. And yeah, I don't like the map. I think the secrets are pointless and random. I don't think that anything in this map makes too much sense. A lot of random monsters, and don't get me started on the part with all those lost souls. Oh my gosh. Next up, I have E1M9. This is at place 30, Military Base. This is one of the worst secret maps. Obviously the worst secret map is E4M9 Fear, but this is my second least favorite secret map. I just think it's a bad secret map. The 4 areas are really sporadic and don't feel like they're a part of the same map, or supposed to be at least. And yeah, it's easy to get lost for new players too because of all the keys and different doors you have to open. And it's not necessarily a bad map. I actually do enjoy playing it for the most part, but the rest of the maps on here are just better in my opinion for many reasons. At number 29 we have E4M1 Hell Beneath. This map. It's almost a guilty pleasure just because it's difficult and pushes limits. But holy hell, this is one of the hardest maps in Doom period. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, this map is insane to 100% if you ever do. There's only one way to do it, truly. A lot of headaches and a lot of angry sessions come from this map for me. At number 28, we have E4, M7, and Hell Followed. For me, this map is just kind of forgettable. I hate the entire first part of the map. Even the Cyber Demon can't save this one. The end of the map with the huge open outdoor area is way fun. Otherwise, this is a failure in my opinion. It's not built like most of the other maps, and I appreciate that they were trying to be a little different and unique and varied in this map design, but I just don't dig it. And even with the open area at the end of the level, I don't like going into the slime pit and flipping the switch and everything like that. Now I do like the Baron of Hell traps they throw at you. I think that was really genius and fun. And the outdoor area is a whole bunch of fun, but overall this map is just not my favorite, so that's why I crawled into number 28. At number 27, we have E1 M7 Computer Station. I think that this map has some of the most unfair hit scans, but it does have its fun moments. It's a pretty decent map. I don't completely hate it. Like I said, just a lot of unfair hit scans. I feel like it's just insane how many different places you can get hit from, so you have to be really careful. The design is neat. I like the secrets in this map. The secrets actually make sense. You have to think outside the box a little bit. But yeah, just the amount of hit scan enemies, it really irritates me. It's just insane how many enemies can shoot you, not only in the room you're in, but from across the map. Next up is E1M2 Nuclear Plant. The intro is the only reason it made it up here, and the fact that you can skip the maze if you want to finish the level. The maze on this map is trash, and I do like the secrets on this map, but overall it's not my favorite. I do like the intro though. Like I said, I like the outdoor area with all the shotgunners and the secret, and I like that you have the option to completely skip the maze. It's not important in any way, so that's really nice. Next up at number 25 is E4M4 Unruly Evil. It's just short and not sweet. The weird design feels out of place. It's just boring and empty. It's a really short map. I feel like this should have been the first map in episode 4 just because it's so short and easy, but I don't know, it just kind of feels random that they threw it in one of the hardest episodes in the Ultimate Doom into the middle of it. It's E4M4. This is after the secret map. So yeah, Unruly Evil, not my favorite. I have not much more to say about it. At number 24, we have E3M4 House of Pain. The 3 different ways to go in the beginning are unnecessary, and yet it's a gorgeous map. I actually like this map quite a bit despite its placements. It's like an Oreo. The beginning and the end are good, but the middle part, aka the cream, is where the fun is at. So yeah, House of Pain is a pretty good map. I like the part where you get the invulnerability. I think one of the funnest things about this map is you can get, if you're trying to speedrun it on Ultra Violence, you can just grab the invulnerabilities and cruise through the map. But I think this map has a lot of good traps. I think it has a lot of fun moments. You get the BFG here, and yeah, it's just a good time. The map is good. It just has extra parts that I think could have been cut from it that would refine it a little bit and make it better. It would have made it higher on my list for sure had it not had the random parts drag it down a little bit, especially when you begin the map and you have to turn left. I hate that area. I don't know why, I just do. At number 23, we have E4M8. The plasma auto rifle is the only good thing about this one, and the orange sky. I like the sky and the auto rifle, and I feel like for being the last map in episode 4, it could have been way harder, because typically if I'm doing a full playthrough of this on Ultra Violence difficulty, I tend to have a lot of plasma auto rifle ammo, and then I usually just blast through all the enemies with the plasma auto rifle the whole time. It's both a good and a bad thing. The good thing is, I feel like this map was made not as difficult purely for the fact that the game creators probably wanted us to have a hurrah moment where, you know, you made it this far in Doom, congratulations, we're gonna let you just go to town now. There's this one part where you like lower all this health and ammo and all these weapons, and they basically give you like everything you need to just wipe hell clean. So if their intention was to make this map easy and fun and just to have a go all out and do whatever you want, then this map succeeded very well. But if they're trying to make this the finale of the Ultimate Doom, and it's supposed to be difficult, it fails on a lot of levels. The Spider Mastermind at the end is not even that bad, because you have tons of plasma ammo still, and it gives you a Soul Spear and a Mega Armor. So it's not even that difficult in terms of health or ammo. You get all of the above. So that's why this is a little bit lower on my list. I just felt like it was a really underwhelming way to end off episode 4 and all of Ultimate Doom Ultimate. I felt like they could have made it a lot more epic and fun, but at the same time, I do appreciate the fact that you can just blast through everyone like effortlessly. Next up on the list is E3M8 Dis. This map is short and sweet, the Spider Mastermind is cool, and that's all. Awkward enemy placement. I think it's really random they have the 2 Cacodemons and the Baron of Hell in each corner of the map. If you're trying to 100% this map, then it's frustrating because you have to go and kill those enemies before you can kill the Spider Mastermind. But yeah, the music's cool. I like the fact that it's in the shape of a star, I guess. And also, don't get me started on the placement of the rocket launcher ammo. If you want to go and collect it, you have to go around the whole entire map. It just feels like they could have made it a lot more epic without all the extra unnecessary enemies and space placement. Next up is E3 M3 Pandemonium. It's a decent map. I have no gripe or love about it. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move on now. Number 20 is E1 M6 Central Processing. The parts I love and the parts I hate. The red key room is insane. The end room is insane. This map has awesome secrets. It's a good time, but there's parts I hate, especially the area with the yellow key. But overall, it's a pretty decent map, which is why it's number 20. It didn't make the top half portions, it's in the bottom half portions, but it's not a bad map per se. At number 19, I have E1 M5 Homeless Lab. I really have no words. It's a good map, not in any special way. Episode 1 in general has a lot of maps for me that just kind of blend in together, and E1 M6 and E1 M5 kind of fall into the category of solid maps with nothing unique or special, but they're just fun to play, and I say go for it. But nothing makes them stand out in any good or bad way, which is why they're mid-tier. At E2 M5, we have Command Center. The maze here, in my opinion, is actually done right, and the monster placement is amazing. The secret exit is well placed, and if you know your way around, there are some freaky but very enjoyable moments. I love the outdoor areas mixed in with the indoor areas, and the toxic floor placements, in my opinion, are actually fair in this one. I do like Command Center overall. If it's your first time playing the map, it's easy to get lost. It's a really long map. The secret exit's not super obvious, and I guess it is a little bit tedious to get everything, but overall, I actually really like this map, and some of the middle room with the 2 Cacodemons and the Barons of Hell that fall down, it's terrifying, but it's super fun, and if you use the terrain to your advantage, you can actually sweep them down pretty good, so that's why E2 M5 is right down the middle for me. Command Center, while it is a maze, I believe it is a maze done right, and I think it has a lot of neat aspects to it. At number 17, we have E2 M2 Containment Area. A lot of you are probably wondering why this isn't way lower on the list in terms of being like the bottom tier. The reason being, yes, the box maze brings this down, but I love the rest. The box maze sucks. I don't even want to go into it. The nice thing though is they give you a berserk pack at the beginning so you can punch out a lot of the monsters, because if you don't punch out a bunch of the pinkies and imps, then it will be difficult to conserve your ammo efficiently. But I do love the fact that you can punch imps because they just splatter and the effect is amazing. But like I said, I do love the rest. The openness of the level is amazing. The green walls and the secret areas are awesome, especially the room with the rockets. And there's a lot to explore here. If the box maze was discarded and it was just the rest of the map, this would be placed way higher as it has such good parts in it. But because of the maze alone, it does bring it down to number 17 overall. At number 16, we have E1 M4 Command Control. I love the intro to this map. It's one of my favorite intros, especially since you can choose 3 paths to go down. Now I know, ironically, in House of Pain I complained about going down the different paths, but in this one I feel like it's more fun because, I don't know, I just like the design. I like the way the paths look. Each path feels like it is integral to the map, with exception to the middle path because that just leads to the other 2 paths. But yeah, the paths at the beginning make you feel like you have a lot of options, even though it all narrows down to the same area. I just like the map a lot. I like the monster placement, and I think the secrets are well placed, and it's just a fun time. The only gripe I have about this map is the maze in the middle of it. The floor has different levels. It has a lot of pinkies and a lot of random barrels and imps. It's just really easy to get flanked and trapped in there. And honestly, without the super shotgun, pinkies are one of the most annoying mobs in Doom. So that's why this is number 16 on the list. It's just in the way and more annoying than anything. The maze. Without the maze, this map would be a lot higher. At number 15, don't hate me, it's E1 M1 Hangar. Now, before you destroy me in the comments section, I'd like to explain. E1 M1 Hangar is an amazing map. Nothing against it. It's just that the other maps above this one I like more. This map is overrated in that yes, it's iconic, but it's not like, wow, that map was so damn fun, I want to play it again. It's not bad, but for me, it's near average for a Doom map. That's saying something since Doom is so fun and amazing. I do love the outside courtyard area, and this map introduced most of us to Doom, so it does get a lot of respect for that. But if I'm going based off of map design, monster placement, and how much I personally enjoy the maps, that is why E1M1 Hangar is at number 15. So don't go crazy on me over me putting this not at number 1 or 2, or even in the top 10 for that matter. At number 14, I have E3M2 Slough of Despair. The maze sucks, but the rest of the map is cool. I don't know why Doom 1 likes to do mazes, but it really goes all out with the mazes. I guess they wanted it to be like a puzzle. I have no idea what they were going for with the mazes, but yeah, they need to tone it down with the mazes in Doom 1. I didn't realize how many maps had mazes until I reviewed them. Normally, I do hate Lost Souls, but with this map, I feel like it uses them really well, with exception to the damn maze once again. You also get a lot of weapons. You get the plasma auto rifle, the rocket launcher, and you get the chain gun. In addition, if you're speedrunning the map, one nice thing is you can actually skip most of the map by grabbing the blue key immediately. So that's why E3M2 Slough of Despair is at number 14. At number 13, I have E3M7 Gate to Limbo. This is controversial the most, but I love this map because of the openness of it and the amount of monsters involved. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the blood maze, otherwise this map would have been higher, but the huge open rooms with demons and the envirosuits are what make this great for me. The map doesn't make you take a ton of damage from toxic floors. They give you plenty of envirosuits. And yeah, the blood maze isn't my favorite, but it's at least decent. If you just stick left the whole time, you'll be able to find your way. First play, this map can be really confusing, and if you don't know your way around the place and you run out of envirosuits, you're probably going to die just of being on the toxic floor too much. But if you know your way around the map, it's a really fun map. It's a blast, and while there are quite a few pinkies in it, like I said, the openness of the map creates a lot of space for you to be able to take the pinkies down without them getting in your way all too much. And there's a lot of really neat traps and tricks that the map throws at you, so because of that, I put E3M7 at number 13 as one of my favorite maps. At number 12, we have E2M1 Deimos Anomaly. Now, I might have pronounced that wrong, but if so, correct me in the comments. This map has a fun intro, and the map is nothing more than it's just fun and has some sweet secrets. You also have to kind of watch your ammo, because if you don't use it wisely, you'll run out. So make sure that you're smart about your ammo, especially if you're 100%ing ultraviolence. And I think the secrets are really clever. You get the plasma auto rifle, and it's just a really fun map, really amazing, and that's why it makes it number 12. At number 11, I have E3M1 Hellkeep. I know, maps back to back being the first in each episode. At number 15, we had E1M1. At number 12, we had E2M1, and now at 11, we have E3M1 Hellkeep. The eye switch in the blood red sky with the intestinal floor is a dead giveaway. The pacing and nature of Doom has changed into something a little more sinister, and this map defines what hell could look like if you were to travel there. Very fun and exciting map. Cacodemons infight with the imps in not only one but two of the rooms, and then the room with all of the imps at the end. It's just a blast. This map is super fun. It's amazing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to delve into the top 10 realm of maps in Doom. So at number 10, we have E1M8 Phobos Anomaly. What a perfect ending to episode 1. For example, number 1. For a new player, these Barons of Hell are terrifying to look at and kill. If it's your first time playing Doom, because most of the episode 1 just has pinkies, imps, and gunners, and that's it. You don't see really any big enemies yet. So for a new player, these Barons of Hell are quite shocking, and it really reminds you that this game is Doom and that you are killing mutants. And the walls lifting after you kill them. You feel confined in this dark space, and then once you kill the Barons of Hell and all the Spectres, the walls lift, and then all of a sudden this bright map surrounds you in the shape of a star guitar. How much more badass does it get than that? The service of barrels blowing up all the pinkies at the beginning is just the cherry on top of this hellish sundae. I love the fact that you can just blow them all up with the barrels. Never gets old. In our number 9 spot, we have E4M3 Sever the Wicked. Hidden Gem. I really feel like this map is a hidden gem. The intro to the map is divine. You have all these enemies surrounding you. They give you some weapons right off the bat. Tons of health and ammo to go around. You just get to spray the rocket launcher like crazy, and the chain gun in this map, which I've found in Doom 1 that the chain gun does not get a lot of love in terms of you really have to conserve your chain gun ammo. But in this map, they say go for it. And also, in addition to having tons of health and ammo, it is a challenging map. Still, there's monsters everywhere. Every time you go into a portal, there's a whole new challenge behind that portal. And similar to E3M6, which we will get to, You can tackle the map in so many different ways, and there's tons of rockets to obliterate all the demons with once again. But I just love the variety and methods that you can take in order to defeat this map. And for that reason, it's made the number 9 spot in my worst to best list of Ultimate Doom maps. In my number 8 spot, we have E4M2 Perfect Hatred. This map is very unique and also features a Cyber Demon. Now, unlike the first map in episode 4, E4M2 Perfect Hatred is an amazing map because I feel like the difficulty is completely fair, and it really tests your skill with platforming and monster placements. It's just a really fun map. You get to use a plasma auto rifle a lot, which is really awesome. And considering how little room they give you to work with and how many big demons they throw your way, I think it's completely fair the plasma auto rifle is huge. So this is one of those challenging maps that provides a sweet twist. It's a little unique and different from the other maps, and it gives you the health and gunpowder necessary to slay the demon with hell in a stylish and energizing way. So overall, yes, E4M2 Perfect Hatred is an amazing map, and it easily makes it into my top 10 of all Ultimate Doom maps. But I freaking love it, and for that reason, Perfect Hatred is number 8 on my list. At number 7, we have E2M8 Tower of Babel, or Babel, however you want to pronounce it. Either way, ever since my first playthrough and to this day, I still get intimidated by this map. It has a huge open map with amazing skies, and on first play, it sets a really eerie tone, but it's a blast to play, and it's a perfect way to introduce the boss man himself, the Cyber Demon. So yeah, even to this day, I still get a little bit nervous when I play this map, just because I already know what's awaiting outside for me. But my first playthrough, I didn't know what to expect. You're just in this circular room with 4 switches and 4 staircases leading up to rooms full of rockets and 2 health bonuses. The insane part to me is you're wondering, why are all these rockets available to me right now? Well, you know something big's coming up. And it's an epic fight with the Cyber Demon. It's just you versus the Cyber Demon. Now, on Ultraviolence, there are lost souls, and they can be pesky, but mainly it's just you and the Cyber Demon. So for that reason, E2M8 Tower of Babel makes it into number 7. At number 6, we have E1M3 Toxin Refinery. This is my favorite map in episode 1 of Doom. The reason being, it's the best map in terms of a standalone in episode 1 because of the layout. The secrets you can constantly see throughout the level, pushing you further to find them before you can even access them. The gunners and the imps, the outdoor areas, just a really well done map, and for those reasons it's one of my favorites. I also think that the gunners are placed fairly. I don't think that, unlike E1M7, there are lots of gunners and such, scan enemies you could call them, but I feel like they're more fairly placed and that there's ways to not take unnecessary and insane amounts of damage. And yeah, once again, the secrets of this map, I love that you can see future areas before being able to access them. As a kid, I would look into these areas and never figure them out for years. And then when I did figure out the secret areas in this map, I always got so excited and it made a huge difference. This also has a secret exit, the first secret exit in Doom. So I feel like Toxin Refinery sets a really good tone for the rest of episode 1, and for that reason it's number 6. Now at number 5, the top 5, ladies and gentlemen, I have E2M9 Fortress of Mystery. This is one of my favorite secret maps. I love to see if the Barons or Cacodemons win in a fight. It's short and very sweet. It gives you almost every weapon type in the game. A backpack, you get a whole bunch of health. The thing is, you have to act right away because immediately when you spawn into the level, Barons of Hell, 4 of them surrounding you, are alerted to your presence, and so you have to be quick. Now, in order to escape them, you have to go through the door, but when you do that, Cacodemons galore, tons of them. It's insane. The first time I played the map, I was wondering what the heck we gotten ourselves into. We didn't realize that we found the secret map our first playthrough, and when we got there, it was insane. What I like to do now is I actually like to see if the Cacodemons or the Barons of Hell will win in a fight. I like to make them all in fight and not do anything the whole time. Now, 99 out of 100 times the Barons of Hell will win, but there have been those slim chances where I've actually seen the Cacodemons come on top. At number 4 spot, we have E3M9 Warnings. My first playthrough, I was super confused and disappointed, but the final result doesn't disappoint. The reason I was disappointed was because it looks like a step-by-step remake of the first map in episode 3, and it is. The placement of the monsters are the same, the layout's the same, but the music's different. Now, we're not going to get into the music, but the first thing I noticed about this map my first time playing it was the music. When you finally step into the portal to end the map, instead of finishing the map, the walls around you lowered, and all of a sudden you see all this rocket ammo and a Cyber Demon noise. And from that point on, you're like, oh man, shit just got real. So yeah, because of that, this is one of my favorite maps of all time. It's so freaky but so fun at the same time. Once you do beat the Cyber Demon, you have to kill a whole bunch of monsters. One thing I like about it is when you backtrack into the familiar areas you had been to previously, there are a whole bunch of traps and monsters that opened up that previously weren't there, so you're in for a shock and terror surprise on the way back. And then to top it all off, at the very end of the map, which is in my opinion the hardest part of the map, especially if you don't have any vulnerability saved up, you get thrown into this room full of all the monsters, including cacodemons, loads of shotgunners, and 5 or is it 4? I think it's 4 Barons of Hell, but either way, you're just surrounded by all these monsters, and so it's just a really fun and unique map. I love E3M9 Warrens, so that's why it's in my top 5 maps. At number 3, we have E4M6 Against the Wicked League. Now, I don't think that any of you expected this map to make it this high. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect it to either when I was doing this. But after pairing it up against other maps and thinking about how much fun I have when I play it and how difficult it is, E4M6 made it into my top 3. The Cyber Demon towards the end seals the deal for me. And the 4 different areas to traverse. I love this map for so many reasons. The sky on the outside and the indoor with tight spaces and open spaces all at the same time. I guess you could compare it to E4M2. It has a Cyber Demon, it has a bunch of tight spaces with a lot of crazy enemies on it, but it also gives you ammo and health to be able to combat them. But at the same time, you have to be careful with how you use your health and ammo, because if you're not careful, then you will get killed quickly. So this is a map that at first glance seems impossible, but if you know your way around and you use your items right, it can be a hell of a fun time, pun intended. And I just find that it is a challenge. Even to this day, I still have challenges beating it, but it's a fair challenge. It's one of the most fair forms of difficulty in my opinion. And of course, the map does provide an easy way to take out Cyber Demon if you save the invulnerability. So that's why E4M6 is number 3. At number 2, we have E3M6 Mount Erebus, or is it Erebus? I have no idea. Either way, this map is one of my favorites because there are multiple ways to finish it. Similar to E4M3, you have multiple different ways to beat this map. You can go any route you want. It's just an open map full of different opportunities, and it has its fair share of difficulties, and it gives you plenty of armor and health and ammo to be able to deal with all the demons on it. So yeah, I love E3M6, and also there is an easy way to finish the map without even killing a single demon. As you can see here in the clip, I'm finishing the match without doing anything. So that's why E3M6 gets a high spot up on this list for me. I also love the sky. I love the endless ways to complete it. The colors and the monsters are fun too. It's just a really visually appealing map with a lot of different monster varieties and a lot of tricks and traps. And ladies and gentlemen, at the number 1 spot of my favorite map in the Ultimate Doom is E2M4 Demos Lab. I love the colors, I love the wall art, and I love the design. The wall art has those creepy faces that stare at you. They also have these souls that look like they're trying to escape. In addition, it's wide open. There's lots of monsters with some teeth-clenching moments and a lot of fun. It's full of secrets and cool moments. It's a fast map for speedruns too. So you can take as long as you want in this map, or you can make it quick. My first playthrough of the map, it took me a while because it is a big map and it can be easy to get lost, but overall, I love this map. Every time it loads in, I get super excited, and it's just a really nice breath of fresh air because episode 2 has so many maze-like maps, and even though this one could fall into that category, based off of first playthrough and every playthrough since then, this map is one of my favorites of all time, and for that reason, it's made it into my number 1 spot. Now, as a bonus to you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to go over my episodes from worst to best as a whole. So instead of doing individual maps, I'm going to now, I guess, not top 5, but top 4 the episodes. So, at the number 4 spot, ironically, is episode 4. The reason being, this is the roller coaster of doom for me. I either love or I hate these levels, and the hate tends to creep in a little more than the love. It's got good maps, but with the intro and ending either being so difficult or underwhelming, ironically, episode 4 places 4th on my list. The last couple levels are very underwhelming and disappointing. Overall, episode 4 has some really good and fun maps, and I do like some of them, but with the maps that I dislike, I feel like they outweigh the other maps, and so that's why episode 4 is number 4 for me. At number 3, I have episode 1. Now, Like I said before, episode 1 is an amazing episode. I love Doom, it's one of my favorite games. But episode 1, I feel like all the levels overall are fun, but there's just a lot of gunners and the levels tend to blend together for me. It's just a good episode with nothing stand out except for the first and last levels, which are both exceptional. Lots of really random items, lots of mini secrets that you could easily miss if you didn't look it up or get really lucky trying to find them. I feel like episode 1 was definitely a test for id Software whenever they created it. It was definitely the beginning of their level creating, and you can tell. But they did a really good job as well. At number 2, I have episode 3. Some of the best music in the series starts here. Music aside though, I do love the intro 3 maps and the secret map too. It's a hell I'd be down to go to. And that's for sure, because episode 3 is just a really fun map pack full of challenges, lots of insane enemies, good traps. I feel like episode 3 it just wraps together the original Doom really good. Episode 4 being an add-on of course, but yeah, I love episode 3. It was a good way to end the original 3 map packs. And then last but not least, my number 1 spot is episode 2. Now, this used to be lower when I was younger because the maps are huge and I got lost all the time. I used to dread these maze-like large maps. They took me about 15 to 30 minutes to beat by themselves. There was one map that even took me 40 minutes to beat. Now that I know them better, they're way more fun, they're really innovative, they increase in the difficulty from episode 1, and they're unique and varied. So for that reason, episode 2 is my favorite episode in all of Doom. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up my maps in Doom from least to best, and also episodes least to best. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below your maps worst to best, or if you don't want to list all 36 maps in the comments, just give me your top 5 or top 10 favorite maps, and then if you want to go an extra step further, your top 5 or top 10 least favorite maps. We can get some good conversations flowing down in the comment section, that'd be great. I'd love to hear what your guys' picks are, but those are my picks for the worst to best maps in the Ultimate Doom, and the worst to best episodes as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in future videos.